Hey everybody, it's Abraham Shreve with Maps Coaching, and if you're watching this, it means that you're in the North Florida region for Keller Williams, and I am so excited that I get to come and spend some time with you guys at your cultural summit. Now, I have had the distinct honor, and I mean those words, I've had the distinct honor of spending 3 full days with you guys together. I spent 2 full days with your leadership team, and that was in Daytona, and it was just absolutely wonderful to be with that caliber of leaders. I said, it's 4 days. I came out another time and we did a big, huge extravaganza, and I brought out these, great producers, and Georgia really knows how to put together things in your region. And then I came another day and we did a full day for just the higher volume producers. And Georgia's asked that I come and spend a day with you at your cultural summit, and I'm very honored. I love you guys. I do. I've got a kinship with this region. Now, a few months ago, I passed 8,000 coaching calls. 8,000. I just want you to think about that. I know that the magic number is 10,000, as we learned from Malcolm Gladwell in Outliers. And after 8,000 coaching calls, you learn some things. Now, this is 8,000 coaching calls with the industry breakers, the people that are pushing and expanding and blowing out the walls of what we think we're able to do in this business. And we learn a lot of things. We learn a lot of things about lead generation. We learn a lot of things about new technologies, and we learn a lot about the demographic of our customer and the user experience and all of these things that are changing and shifting and moving in real estate. We have competitors like we have never had before. Our competitors know more about our consumer than our consumer will ever know about themselves, more than we will ever know about them. So how do we deal with that? How do we deal with companies that have billion-dollar budgets like Amazon and Zillow? How do we battle them? Well, it's creating this community, and it's by communicating with them in a systematic fashion, by owning that database, which sounds like, oh, sure, of course you're saying that again. Yep, we're saying that again. And we will say that until people get it. So anyway, I've learned all these things about how to run a business and how to run these higher level businesses. And one of the aspects of running a business that continues to rise to the top is that the great people build their people. That's their mission. They build their people. Our culture and the Y4C2Ts and the fact that when people need us, we drop and run, that's what defines us. That's what separates us from the rest of the world. Now, we are the biggest player in our space. We're the largest real estate company in the world. We are privately held. That means that our leaders get to stand on stage in front of the entire company and talk about God, because it's God, family, business. And we don't have to apologize to a board of directors about our belief system. It's written right into our core, whatever the God of your choosing is. So we're an amazing company that way. This thing that we call culture is a lot more than we like each other. It is the lifeblood that makes our company so productive. Do you hear that? Our culture is what allows our agents, an agent-centric company, a company focused completely on you and your success, not us, you. Our culture is what allows agents to come here and thrive and build bigger lives than they could ever build before. Now, I want to give you a personal example, and please, permit me this, and I'll see if I can do this quickly. I was at family reunion in February, and I went to the inspirational brunch. Now, do yourself a favor. Do not miss the inspirational brunch. Don't. In case you don't understand what I'm saying here, don't leave early. Don't. There they were up on stage, and they were talking and sharing about all the disaster relief and all the things that were done in Louisiana. And I was just so inspired in Mississippi, those two. I was so inspired by what we did there, that we ran in there, that I said to myself, and I turned to my wife who was with me, I said, I'm going to go next time. I'm going to go. And so Hurricane Harvey hits. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. Harvey hits. Now, Stephen Covey says that carrying out a decision, he says integrity is carrying out a decision once the emotion you felt when you made that decision is passed. Now, fast forward 7 months-ish, Harvey hits Houston. I'm busy. I have, our little band of merry miscreants, my 4 beautiful children, my wife. I mean, we're busy. We're building a life by design, and then Harvey hits. And isn't that the way these things happen? That's one of the things that I think makes our culture so amazing, is that life isn't a respecter of our time. It just dishes up these incredible growth opportunities that they don't really feel like that in the moment. They feel tragic, and they feel like they're just like we can almost not overcome them. And that's where we band together. And our collective strength allows us to serve at a level that's just really inspiring. So, Harvey hits. Now, I'm gonna be headed to the airport in 1 hour. I'm at a doctor's appointment with my beautiful wife. We've been married for 21 years. It'll be 22 years in July. And we're at a doctor's appointment because they have found something in her mammogram that they don't like. And they did some other tests. Now they've taken a biopsy. Now, I want to be clear at this phase of my story. We dodged the cancer bullet. We did. And we thank God. And we got to know so many people through this. It was 3.5 weeks of them saying, we need another test. We need another test. And finally going in, having this thing removed. And 3.5 weeks of just not knowing. However, the first moment they said to us, it looks like you have cancer. We need to do more testing, was an hour before I was to go to the airport. 1 hour. Of course I'm not going. And I turned to my wife, who does not work for MAPS Coaching or Keller Williams or in the world of real estate at all. I still bring her to my events. And if you're not exposing those in your world to the amazing growth resources that exist in this company, then I think you're maybe selling them short, and yourself as well. So I bring her with me to a lot of these things, and I turned to her and I said, I'm not going. I'm not going. I was so emotional. You always think cancer and what a day of miracles, right? That we could even know that these things are a possibility before they really are. So I turned to her and I said, no, I'm not going. And she says, yeah, you're going. You're going. This woman was just basically told, you have a high likelihood that you have cancer. And my head is spinning off of my neck. I said, I'm not going, you need me. She says, no, you need me, and they need you. So you're going. Forgive me. It's heavy. I'm sorry, I don't. So I went. Can you just imagine what that plane ride was like? I have an active mind anyway. And on the plane, I thought about everything. I thought about, you think of the worst case scenario, a life without her, and what would this be like for the kids? You think through all these things. I got to Florida, and Houston, and I was literally swept up in our culture, literally swept up. There wasn't a minute to breathe. Hundreds and hundreds of volunteers receiving semi-trucks from all over the country. People stopping by the warehouse at all times saying, what is this? And when we said, we're a real estate company, they just couldn't understand that. And then there was a huge board with people that we go take care of. And I went out to some lady's house whose husband works on an oil rig out in the ocean. And of course, he wasn't able to come in because of the terrible hurricanes. She's home alone and her home was destroyed. And she had 3 children. They were living upstairs because the basement was the main level is completely flooded. And I went there with some people that are dear friends, and we cut out walls and tore out carpet, and it was gross, disgusting, ugly work. And she was so grateful. By the way, she's a part-time agent for Keller Williams. That's our culture. That's our culture in action. Now, in that house was Joe Bogar, the time my MAPS coach, Joe Bogar, and he runs a millionaire real estate business in Denver area. There's Jeff Quinton, one of my favorite people on earth, one of the most productive agents in the world, put his life on hold for a moment to serve. Simon Sinek said, people don't buy what we do, they buy why we do it. And our culture is why we do it. And we're gonna talk about how to get the very most from our relationships. We're gonna talk about specific strategies and processes that we can use to put our initial reactivity on hold, to explore the story of another person, and to truly get the very best of those around us. You know, I'm a big believer that whatever issue you're facing in a relationship will evaporate in the presence of the right process. The issue will evaporate in the presence of the right process. And if you don't know what that is, then you don't miss this. If you own a business and you have people that are a part of that business, you don't miss this. If you have if you're in a family and there are people that depend on you and your communication is key with them, do not miss this. Now look, probably feels like everybody in the company does things like what we're doing. And you have to know that's not true. You guys as a region do more than most. Gotta make sure I don't miss my first call. You guys as a region do more than most. I am blown away at what Georgia puts together for you. I can't wait to come. I know this was long-winded. I just love you guys and I'm passionate about this and I can't wait to see you. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Don't miss. Don't miss.